Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I'm here with just great, well actually it's not great news, it's terrible news. It just reinforces what I've been preaching to you. And more evidence that you need to prepare. You need to get serious about it. You need to start cutting debt as much as you can. You might say, can't do it. Yes, you need to start selling stuff on, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, any type of place where you can put an ad and get rid of some of your stuff that you might not need, stuff that you don't use anymore. If you're cash short and you need other supplies, you might need to want to sell a few firearms. If you got a gun safe full of firearms but you're lacking in other areas, think about it. You might want to get rid of some. The news this morning, the only positive news I saw out there was oil was down about 3%, which is good. And that's really caused by that Europe is starting to close back down, and so it'd be less demand. More lockdowns in Europe for COVID. So that's not good news for anyone. Also, big news this morning, plastic shortage. They're blaming it on well, I guess demand, but they're blaming it on the COVID. But really, they're blaming it on the ice storm in Texas, because it closed some petrochemical plants that make the raw materials. And this is plastic from cheap garbage bags to medical plastic to plastic for vehicles. Also a semiconductor shortage. And I think there was a fire in Japan at a semiconductor factory, so that probably won't help the cause. So there's just more and more shortages popping up, and costs are increasing. Now it could be supply and demand increasing costs, it could be inflation. To me it doesn't really matter. All I know is when I go buy something it costs more. So start making a list. Sit down with your wife. If your wife or your husband is not a prepper, just sit down and say, hey, I'm concerned about inflation. I'm concerned about shortages. What do we need to buy that we're going to use? Don't buy things you're not going to use. Don't buy food that you don't like or not going to eat. But sit down. The resident of the White House, Biden, is going to spend a little bit more money. He's proposed $3 trillion more. Some of this is on climate projects of his. Some is on free community college for everyone. Some is for infrastructure, but it's $3 trillion right now, but it could go up to $4 trillion because there's some tax incentives in there, so it could cost us up to $4 trillion. There will be a tax on the wealthy. Taxes on the wealthy hopefully won't trickle down to less jobs for the middle class and the poor. So there is a lot of things going on out there. So lumber's expensive, electrical stuff's expensive, semiconductors are expensive, and now they warn us that plastic is going up again, which plastic I think is at a decade high. So it's already getting hit hard, but now they're saying it's going to get worse, and shortages. So stock up. Hopefully you've stocked up on ammo and the proper firearms, because with the latest tragedy in Colorado of the 10 people killed, it's just another push for more gun control, and that's what they've been waiting for. So be ready for that. Hopefully you're prepared in that field, because right now it's really hard. AmmoSeek, use it. 2 weeks ago I purchased some 12 gauge just birdshot. I think it was number 6, and I got it for 30 cents, 31 cents tax and delivered to my door from AmmoSeek. I think it came from Bass Pro, which is not a bad price. I bought it just because, hey, that was the cheapest ammo out there. Everything else is outrageous, and the 12 gauge at that price birdshot was really just a tad more than I used to spend. So I felt really good about buying that. Now, the only reason I got it is because I got up like I ordered 2 orders, and they were a couple days apart. And I was up about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and that's when I check it. I don't know why, but Bass Pro seems to have it come on at crazy hours. So I checked it, and was able to jump on it and got free shipping. So it was a great deal. So don't give up. You might have to buy a caliber that you don't want. Like 12-gauge birdshot, it's still good for a lot of things. I can do a lot of training with it. And at that price, I felt it was a great deal. Aside on that, my buddy went. He's a member of a shotgun shooting range, skeet shooting, and he said that there are definitely not as many people because ammo's so expensive. So it's hurting other people. That range is hurting because, you know, not as many people are going and using it because of the ammo shortage. So I'm just giving you so much good news today, and hopefully it motivates you. I want you to be ahead of the curve. During the Carter administration, I was too young to remember, but I did remember my parents talking about the inflation rate and how things were bad. Luckily, it was also good for people that saved money because the interest rate paid on savings accounts or CD was extremely high. So take this bad news, don't get depressed, don't get discouraged, but get prepared. Thanks for watching.